If you leave here liking me, I didn't do my job. I'm going to say it again. If you leave here liking me, I failed. I'm going to insult you, whether you're black, brown, yellow, or pink. Whether you're a Jew, a Muslim, a Catholic, or a Protestant. Whether you're agnostic. I take no prisoners. And as our lovely daughter would say, Kelly Peña, she says, Daddy treats everybody the same, like shit. And why do I treat everybody like shit? And why have I been so fucking successful over these 25 years? Because it fucking works. And the reason you're here, you snowflake cunt, is because nobody treated you like shit. Tough love works. You fucking weenies. Tough love works. I'm the alpha male father you never fucking had. Most of you should have never been born. You should have rolled down the inside of your fat mama's leg. But that's why you're here. Because nobody talks to you that way. You've been deluded, misguided into thinking going to lectures like this, listening to fucking podcasts, reading fucking books is taking action. Well, that's nothing but fucking procrastination, you weak, weenie cunts. Don't you see it? Don't you get it? I don't understand how kids 30 years old can still live at home. Married with children and still live at home. Now, I realize there's some ethnicities that live at home forever. Those aside, do you take turns who's going to fuck? You fuck on Wednesdays and we fuck on Tuesdays? And what if you're married or you're to a moaner or a screamer? Then what the fuck do you do? You got to wait till the parents leave the house? What the fuck? Do you realize how ludicrous on the face of that is? I mean, don't you get it? Most of you don't like the way you look. You're too fat. You're too skinny. Your tits aren't big enough. Your tits are too big. Your ass isn't big enough. Your ass is too big. I don't have a six-pack. I got a six-pack. And I can go on and on and on. Self-esteem is built the first 7 or 8 years of life. Who are you with the first 7 or 8 years of life? Mom, maybe dad, an older brother, sister, a grandparent, right? What the fuck do they know about raising anything? What the fuck do they know about building self-esteem? I rest my case. All you've heard till now is that, a big pile of shit. Some of you have been going back to the same fucking seminar for years. Some of you have been, we're going to get to a slide in a minute. There's 700 books. When I spoke at Oxford a couple years ago, a guy in the front row told me he read 700 books on personal development. And I made the comment, well, I didn't know there were 700 books on personal development. And the guy 3 or 4 seats down said, what would you rather have? Somebody that has read 700 books or somebody that's done 700 deals? Now, needless to say, I'm the one that has done 700 deals. Actually, a lot more than that. But you keep going back to people that have done no deals, that have written books, and for the most part, made money by putting asses on seminar seats. Why? Because they tell you it's easy. And I'm telling you, most of you in this room are going to fail in life. And I'd be willing to set up a book, a gambling book, 10-to-1 odds. And I'll win the book, because most of you are going to fail. I could say, bit of a stretch, all of you are going to fail. But I have a few mentees in the audience, so I know that's not true. Whereas the other guys and gals tell you it's easy. You can be whatever you want to be. Don't raise your hand. But when I was growing up, in more recent generations, you can be whatever you want to be when you grow up. That's a load of shit. But why do we want to believe it? In this country, unless you went to Oxford or Cambridge, the chances of you being motherfucking prime minister are 0. or pretty close to zero. Right? In America, unless your name is Clinton, Kennedy, or Bush, the odds of you being president are zero, or pretty close. But then if you couple the Ivy League schools, they're a little better than zero. But why do we want to believe that? Some of you in the audience are fucking ugly. Just flat-ass ugly. And when we were at Krakow University in Poland the year before last, I'm giving a speech just like this, and I say a million. In fact, one of the million a year guys is in the audience. Jan, do you mind if I embarrass you by asking you to stand up? He stands up. He's a student at Krakow University. You made €1 million last year. Yes, I did, Mr. Peña. Not one single student in the fucking audience, not one single student in the audience asked how he made the $1 million or went over and talked to him. Not one single fucking student asked him how he made the $1 million or went over and talked to him. What does that say? Volumes. Just like you read all your books, you don't learn anything. It is one thing to study war and another thing to live like warriors. How many have read books about, I'm not going to ask you how many are in self-defense. I'm not going to ask you how many pills and potions. I'm not going to ask you how many are trying to get a six-pack. I'm not going to ask you any of those questions. But I will say this. You know why a lot of the guys and gals are into that? Because it's easy. You get a six-pack in the fucking kitchen. It's what you eat. There's no correlation between a six-pack and 6% body fat and wealth. In fact, there's a reverse correlation. Most of the meatheads that have muscles are poor. Better you're a fat slob, behemoth, drool, snot rolling out your nose. You got a higher probability of being successful than a six-packer. Now, when we were again at Krakow University, we were on the third floor of the physics building, as I recall, and it was real quiet. And there was a sign in Polish. And I asked our guide, why is it so quiet here? I was whispering, this is a safe floor. Safe from what? From stress. Are you bullshitting me? What are you talking about? Safe from stress. There is a floor to go to if life becomes too overwhelming. Are you fucking kidding me? No wonder you're all fucked up. Are you fucking kidding me? In the military now, you can't slap and hit and punch people anymore. Now they pull out a card. If the drill instructor is getting too hostile with them, they pull out a card. It's not like this, but a card. That means, leave me alone. I need safe time. Are you do you think that's what's going to happen when the Taliban come in and they chop your fucking head off? You're going to give them a safe card? Do you realize the rest of the world laughs at us? Do you realize the Russians think we're all faggots? Do you realize most of the Eastern Bloc countries think we're faggots? Because we are! We're an embarrassment to humanity. Most of the problems we have with all the thousands of kids that have come through the program over the years is you have daddy issues in one form or another. Not daddy issues because they molested you, although some of the kids have been sexually abused by their fathers, but I mean daddy issues because they didn't have a man for a father. One of my stars of years ago, she wanted me to meet her parents. So we drove up in front of the house. I closed my eyes and I could still see it happening. The mother and father were wrestling around on the front lawn in a fist fight. This is the mom and the dad. And the mom's kicking the shit out of the dad. And as we pull up the driveway, they got up and they, oh, Mr. Peña, let's have a barbecue. And so I looked at her and I go, I know what you mean now. Well, most of you have just the opposite. Mother bullies the dad, or the dad bullies the mom, or the dad bullies the kids, beats the kids. What kind of role model is that? In your most formative years, You had either a no role model or a poor role model. We have people quit at the seminar, during the seminar. We have a no refund policy. We have people quit the first week, the second week, the third week. Because I'm hard. I don't give a fuck if your mother died in your arms. Where's the fucking weekly report, you cunt? I'm serious. I don't give a shit. We've had guys, their wife is giving birth. As God is my witness. He's a doctor, Dr. Joe. Push, honey. Oh, yeah, Dan, I got push, honey, push. I don't give a shit. Nobody, don't you understand? Nobody cares about all the trials and tribulations of your fucking weak, cunt lives. Don't you understand that? What the fuck do I have to do here? You fucking morons. Tough love works 100%. Extraordinary tough love works better. And vicious tough love works the best. I'm not interested in your problems. They're your problems. I'm not interested in whether you like me or you don't like me. The good news is 99.9% of all the people that have been helped by QLA I've never met. That's the good news. Because I'm antisocial. I don't like people. I wouldn't piss on your face if it were on fire. Literally. I asked you, would you like your kids to be like you? I know the answer. I asked you, would you like your kids to be like your parents? I know the answer. But would you like you see, you have nothing, you can't do anything about your parents or grandparents, right? They're there. But would you like your kids to turn out like the fucking bums that you chill with, that you fucking hang with? Fucking bums! I know the answer to that too. And you can't blame your parents or grandparents, only but indirectly, because you chose those 5 mates. Nobody chose those cocksuckers but you. And you chose them because you had low self-esteem, no self-confidence whatsoever. And that you can blame your parents for. We ought to just line, this cement wall. We ought to just line all your parents up there. Cut them down like the fucking dogs that they are. Money is free right now. We're at the lowest interest rates in 5,000 years. What are you going to tell your grandchildren? What are you going to tell your children 20, 25 years from now? What did you do, Grandpa? What did you do, Grandma, during the greatest transformation of motherfucking wealth in the history of the world? What did you do? Other than sit on your fucking hands. What did you do to take advantage of the greatest transformation of wealth in the history of the planet? What did you do? Not a fucking thing. That's what you're going to say. Not a fucking thing. Because I was too much a coward. I was too much a weenie. I was too much a fucking cunt. When I say cunt, I mean coward. I didn't do anything. And that'll be your regret.